Okay, so these are the two headdresses that I've basically produced for this collection. They're 2 out of 5 in total, and they're very kind of Art Nouveau, mixed with a little bit of Art Deco kind of style. I'm really very happy with kind of what's been produced. There is a little bit of work that needs to be done to them, just finishing bits off. I mean, for example, the tassels here just on the, well, on my left hand side. Basically need to add a few more, okay, just to even it out. Also we have to cut out some of the holes, but apart from that, it's pretty much finished. The whole thing is constructed out of metal wire, black corset laces, jet beading that we found at the IACF Antiques Fair, and also bits and pieces that we've managed to find from Barnett and Lawson. And it's actually very cheap, very quick and very easy to make. It was remarkable how easy it was. And as I said, I'm going to show you exactly how I put this all together so you can kind of have a go yourself. Okay, so pretty much laid out here in front of us is pretty much all the equipment you're going to really need to make these headdresses. Just basically some needle nose pliers. The larger you get, obviously the more power you can apply, and so the thicker the wire you can actually bend. If you've got smaller ones, it's not going to work so well. So this is brilliant when it comes to manipulating your wire, your thick wire, okay? Which is perfect. So needle nose pliers. This wire I got from B&Q, really simple, just kind of garden department wire. I think it's about 1 mil or 0.5 mil thick, and this is just almost exactly the same garden department. It's just plastic coated wire. You can probably go to any kind of beading shop and get probably similar, if not thinner, finer quality. This is simply to well, you'll see this is for later. It's just to basically bind the wire together, because it's very difficult to bind. If, for example, you wanted to join these two pieces together, you'll find it very difficult, unless of course you have something like this which will go in and start to bind them together, okay? But I'll show you that in detail later. So just some very fine wire, which is very flexible, very easy to bend with your fingers, and some thicker, more structured wire, okay? Also, here I've got some corset laces. You can use black, white, whatever, but to be honest, it doesn't matter what you use, as long as it's like some kind of like thick thread or anything at all, just to sort of like cover up this wire, okay? And I'll show you once again later how we use this, okay? Same with this one here. Also, I went to Barnett and Lawson and picked up this stuff here. These are just sort of like little plastic jet beads. They're very cheap. I think I got a pack for about £2, and you get about 10 or 20 in there. These actually have very small little holes that you can actually stitch these onto garments or other bits and bobs. I actually used a glue gun, and I'll show you all about that later. Also, any kind of bead shop, I've used Beadcraft, which is a shop in London. You can actually go onto the Beadcraft website, and you can find lots of just different size, different shape beads, okay? The more you can find, or the more variety you can find, the better. Black is very easy, because obviously black is one colour, and there's huge variety. It gets more difficult when you're dealing with sort of like creams or pinks, or you know, sort of like a variety of colours. So black is a very easy way to make nice looking sort of like headdresses, just because it's all one colour and it's lovely. Okay, so this is basically all you're really going to need. The other thing, which you will need as well, is you can go to a place like Moreplan, or well, I just went to like a hairdressing shop down the road, and you can pick up one of these heads, okay? Very simple, and they're only about £5. They're quite cheap. Yeah, so that's basically kind of all you're going to need, really. And the polyester ones, sorry, the polystyrene ones are better, because you can actually not only draw on it, but you can also put pins into it and start to map out the shape of your headdress, or the band that you're going to use to put over it. Okay? So we'll next move on to how we actually start making the headband that goes, that's going to fit on this head. Okay? Okay, so now we have our mannequin head, which is brilliant. It's roughly the same kind of size as a woman's head, which is brilliant. Obviously you have the ears as well, which is quite important. So now we're going to basically start making our structure, which is pretty simple. Well, I say it's simple. It's actually the hardest part of this whole process. So really make sure that you get it right, the shape that is. So literally I'm just going to go in, I'm going to cut off quite a large section of my wire, okay? And I'm just literally going to straighten this out, so we've got a nice kind of surface, a nice kind of, well, just it's easy to work with, because obviously curled up it's a bit of a problem. Okay, so we've now got a nice long bit of reasonably straight wire. Okay, perfect. And what I'm going to do is, where are my pins? Okay, so I'm just going to get my pins, okay, see here, which is perfect. And because this is polystyrene, literally I can just put these in here and I can map out where I'm going to put my my metal wire, okay? So what I'm going to do is, it's exactly like an Alice band, okay? So you obviously want it to come just in front of the ear and go all the way around the side and top of the head, over to the other side, and down exactly the same place, okay? So I'm just literally going to start bending this round. And it's quite nice and flexible, this wire, it works really well. I'm just going to, for the time being, bend it around with my fingers, okay? So I'm just going to go down. I've probably got a little bit too much here. I'm just going to make the basic shape, so I'm just going to curl it over the head. Make sure it's front of the ear. And curl it down to here, okay? And this is where my pins are going to come in handy, and I'm literally just going to poke a pin in the top there. And just there, and that basically crosses over so it locks it in place, okay? I'm going to give you a little kind of close-up on this in a minute just to show you. So I'm just going to go down,